Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
For years, The View has followed the same predictable pattern. Endless talking, recycled opinions, and a panel completely disconnected from everyday Americans. When you don't have substance, you talk louder and longer. And voters are no longer buying it. Especially not from a show that lives inside its own echo chamber.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whoopi Goldberg, in particular, ruled the table like a judge in her own courtroom. Cutting off guests. Talking over dissent. Delivering opinions as unquestionable facts. Disagreeing wasn't debate, it was disruption. Until one unexpected moment changed everything.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
The episode began like always, smug laughs, eye rolls, and a panel nodding in perfect sync. Left-leaning talking points, comfortably rehearsed. Then Karoline Leavitt entered the conversation, and suddenly the balance shifted.
In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more of the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
As the topic turned to wokeness, Whoopi leaned back, confident and untouchable. Then she fired a shot meant to end the discussion instantly. Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job. The room froze. The tension was immediate. Even the audience felt it.
Most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
It wasn't a disagreement, it was a dismissal. Whoopi wasn't debating Karoline's ideas. She was questioning her entire worth, reducing her career to ideology, not merit. And for the first time, the applause felt uneasy.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
But Karoline didn't flinch. No rushed defense. No emotional reaction. Just a calm smile, the kind that says you just made a mistake. And then she did something no one expected. She brought facts.
Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
Karoline laid out the numbers. Government spending. Taxpayer money funneled into questionable woke programs overseas. Cultural projects with no accountability. No jokes. No sarcasm. Just cold, undeniable facts. And suddenly the laughter stopped.
They talk at you, not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the trail.
She connected the dots clearly. Wokeness wasn't just cultural anymore, it had become political. A tool used to silence disagreement and punish opposition. And right there on live television, the power dynamic flipped.
That you saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
No, you cannot be attractive and smart. I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her.
Whoopi shifted in her seat. The confidence was gone. The quick comebacks never came. The woman known for dominating conversations had nothing ready. The silence in the studio was louder than any argument.
You would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Karoline Leavitt she went to St. Anselm College. She worked for WMUR
Ran for Congress?
In New Hampshire. She ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign.
That moment exposed a deeper contradiction. If wokeness is about inclusion, why are conservative women treated with open hostility? Why does tolerance disappear the moment someone refuses to fall in line?
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives an... And this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
Joy Behar tried to jump in with a joke, a desperate attempt to reset the room. But it was too late. The damage was done. For once, The View had lost control of its own narrative.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
Online, the reaction exploded. Clips spread fast. Memes flooded timelines. Viewers weren't laughing with the panel, they were watching it unravel. And it reminded many that this wasn't an isolated moment, but part of a long pattern.
Reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our...
The real takeaway wasn't about politics. It was about power. When conversations turn into lectures, audiences tune out. And when facts replace talking points, even the loudest voices fall silent. The question now is simple. Can The View survive without changing, or has this moment already sealed its future?
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
This moment wasn't just about Whoopi Goldberg or Karoline Leavitt. It was a wake-up call. A reminder that audiences are done being talked at instead of talked with. When facts replace slogans, when calm replaces chaos, the illusion of authority collapses fast. And maybe that's why this clip hit so hard. Because for the first time, the show that claims to represent the conversation was forced to listen. The real question now isn't who won the argument. It's whether The View can survive a future where people demand substance instead of noise.